Bhangra has its origins in the Punjabi region of India, which lies along the Pakistan border. Field workers would sing folk songs that often celebrated key times of year, such as the harvest. These songs were heavily rhythmic, following a chal rhythm. However, modern Bhangra stems from a fusion between these traditional roots and the instrumentation and production techniques of British music. The energetic and upbeat sound was developed by a rebellious youth culture in Punjabi immigrant communities in areas such as Southall in London and parts of the West Midlands in the 1970s. Over the following decades, the style became diverse as some of the more traditional folk instruments were dropped and made way for production styles borrowed from all kinds of other popular genres at the time, such as dance, rock, hip-hop and pop. Today, many cities and towns across the UK feature dedicated Bhangra clubs that often play at weddings and festivals. Bhangra music also features heavily in Bollywood films, where it is often accompanied by iconic dance scenes. Bhangra is all about the rhythm, and drums are its biggest feature. Arguably the most dominant of which is the double-sided dole drum, which is played with two different sticks, the dagga and the tili, which make two distinct sounds which provide the basis for the chal rhythm that the other instruments work around. Another prominent drum is the tabla, which is a drum that's recognisable for its swooping tonal sound, which is created by forcing the palm into the drum skin to alter the pitch. There are many other drums and percussion instruments that feature in Bhangra too, all adding their own elements into the mix to build up rich rhythms. There doesn't appear to be an upper limit when it comes to drums in Bhangra, usually more is more. Second to the drums in terms of iconic Bhangra sounds is the single-stringed instrument known as the tumbi. The scratchy sound that it creates is able to cut through the drums and sit on top, and plays usually simple rhythmic riffs that complement the drum rhythms. The harmonium, or reed organ, is another main feature, which is an instrument that creates sound by blowing air through reeds. Vocal calls are also a staple feature in Bhangra and adds weight to the lively, party-like atmosphere that the genre provides. Vocals are usually sung in Punjabi, and lyrics could be about love, social issues, Punjabi pride, or simply be variations on traditional Punjabi folk songs. Quite often, vocals would feature a call and response between the lead singer and the backing vocalists. The tempo of Bhangra can vary in part depending on the genre that it's fused with, but it's a music that is absolutely made for dancing to, so tends to be more quick and upbeat. Due to Bhangra's Punjabi heritage, it traditionally didn't utilise Western scales and instead used microtonal scales and ragas. Ragas are a bit like scales, but with a set of rules dictating how the melodies flow, such as changing which notes are used depending on whether the melody is ascending or descending in pitch, for example. These days, although traditional scales and ragas do get used, Bhangra often utilises Western scales. So let's start with the chal rhythm on the dole so that we can get everything else fitting around it. Reinforce that with a nice bouncy tabla rhythm. Add in a slightly more complex dholak part. We'll just layer it up further with some additional drums and percussion, and it's fine if everything is left a little bit loose. Now let's beef everything up with some electronic drums as well and really bring home that chal rhythm. We'll pop those into a track stack and keep things nice and tidy. Now for the instrumentation. Let's start off with the tumbi. And you can hear immediately we're getting that Bhangra sound starting to appear. Let's throw in some stabby piano chords to create some structure. Let's follow that with a very simple mandolin tremolo part. Add in a slightly more melodic harmonium part. A couple of small flourishes on the bansuri flute. Throw in some vocal calls. And lastly, let's put it all together and add a lead vocal.
ਪਿੱਛੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਆਉਂਦਾ ਮੇਰੇ ਚੱਲ ਵੇਲਾ ਚਿਹਰੇ ਵਾਲਿਆ ਵੇਖਦਾ ਏ ਮੇਰਾ ਲੋਂਗ ਬੱਚਾ ਨਿਗਾਹ